I am Jarvis, your storyteller. Welcome to the Science Fiction Exploration. If you like the story, please subscribe to our channel.
Chief Cartographer Nixus Vale stood before the massive holographic display in the Galactic Mapping Authority's central chamber, her iridescent scales reflecting the soft blue light of countless stars. Something wasn't right. After 15 centuries of meticulous documentation, the GMA had mapped nearly every corner of the known galaxy, except for one peculiar region. "Director Kalos," she called out, her voice carrying across the chamber. "I believe I've found an anomaly that requires your attention." The ancient Centaurian floated across the room, his crystalline body pulsing with bands of light that betrayed his curiosity. "Proceed, Chief Vale." Nixus manipulated the hologram, zooming in on a spiral arm segment spanning roughly 15,000 light-years. "This region, sir. It's marked as restricted territory, Earth domain, but our database contains no detailed stellar cartography. It's as if someone deliberately erased a piece of the galaxy." Director Kalos's light patterns shifted to a deeper blue. "The humans maintain their sovereignty, Chief Vale. We respect their boundaries." "With respect, Director, that explanation doesn't align with standard protocols. Even the notoriously secretive Quantum Collective allowed basic stellar mapping. In the past century, we've had 23 vessels attempt to chart this region. 12 disappeared completely. 7 returned with corrupted data. 4. She hesitated. 4 returned with their crews experiencing severe psychological trauma. The director's crystalline form darkened. "This line of inquiry is not productive, Chief Vale." But Nixus wasn't finished. She pulled up another overlay, this one showing gravitational patterns. "Look at these readings from the border regions. The space-time fabric itself shows signs of distortion that violate known physics. And the human's defensive grid, it's oriented inward as much as outward." "You believe they're containing something?" A new voice joined the conversation. Dr. Ramil Voss, the authority's leading xenophysicist, approached the hologram. His bioengineered form, a perfect fusion of organic and mechanical components, allowed him to process data at unprecedented speeds. "Either that or protecting themselves from something," Nixus replied. "But why maintain such secrecy? The galaxy deserves to know." Over the next several weeks, Nixus assembled a specialized team. Dr. Voss agreed to join. His expertise in quantum mechanics and spatial anomalies would prove invaluable. They recruited Xena Toll, a brilliant Arcturian engineer whose natural ability to perceive multiple dimensions made her uniquely qualified. The team also included security specialist Chorus Wraith, a former member of the Stellar Guard whose black market contacts could prove useful in avoiding detection. Their vessel, the Stellar Seeker, was officially dispatched to study a mundane nebula formation several sectors away from their true destination. Once beyond standard monitoring range, Xena activated a series of modifications that would mask their actual course. As they approached the boundary of Earth's territory, the first signs of irregularity appeared. The ship's quantum positioning systems began reporting impossible coordinates. Gravitational sensors showed readings that shouldn't exist in normal space. "These distortions," Dr. Voss observed, his cybernetic eyes processing the data streams, "they're not natural phenomena. The patterns suggest deliberate manipulation of spacetime." Chorus, monitoring the security systems, suddenly straightened. "Multiple contacts ahead. Earth vessels, but something's wrong with their signatures. They're leaving ripples in spacetime itself." Through the main viewport, they watched as 3 Earth ships emerged from what appeared to be folds in reality itself. Their designs defied conventional engineering, with sections that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "They're hailing us," Xena announced, her multifaceted eyes widening. The communication screen activated, revealing a human figure unlike any they'd encountered before. The officer's uniform appeared to shift and change, as if struggling to maintain consistency in normal space. More disturbing were the glowing sigils that seemed to float around their form. Unidentified vessel, the human's voice resonated with unusual harmonics. You have entered restricted space. Your presence here risks more than your own safety. Prepare for immediate boarding. As the Earth ships moved to surround them, Nixus realized they'd stumbled upon something far more significant than a simple territorial dispute. The truth about Earth's isolation was about to be revealed, and she wondered if the galaxy was truly ready for what they were about to discover. The Stellar Seeker's crew watched in stunned silence as the Earth vessels extended shimmering energy fields that seemed to bend the fabric of space itself. Nixus Vale felt a strange sensation, as if reality was becoming less solid around them. "Those aren't standard tractor beams," Dr. Voss announced, his cybernetic implants rapidly analyzing the phenomenon. "They're creating localized pockets of stabilized spacetime. We're being anchored to their version of reality." Chorus Wraith's hands hovered over the defensive controls. "Should I attempt evasive maneuvers?" "No," Nixus decided, her scales shifting colors with anxiety. "We came for answers. Perhaps now we'll get them." The boarding process defied conventional physics. Instead of docking, the humans simply stepped through what appeared to be tiers in space, emerging directly onto the Stellar Seeker's bridge. Their armor was unlike anything the crew had ever seen, covered in flowing symbols that hurt to look at directly. The leader removed their helmet, revealing a face marked with luminescent circuitry that pulsed in rhythm with their heartbeat. "I am Admiral Theron Drake, Earth Defense Force, Division 0. Your unauthorized presence here has triggered multiple reality anchors and destabilized 3 containment fields. Do you comprehend the magnitude of what you've risked?" Zena Toll's multifaceted eyes widened. "Reality anchors? The theories about dimensional tethering are true?" "More than true," another human officer spoke, her armor shifting colors like oil on water. "Lieutenant Commander Jade Horizon, Quantum Containment Division. You're lucky you encountered our patrol. 2 degrees off your current course and you would have intersected with a Class 4 thin spot." Nixus stepped forward. "We represent the Galactic Mapping Authority. 23 of our vessels have been lost or compromised in this region. We demand answers." Admiral Drake's augmented eyes narrowed. "Demands are irrelevant when the fabric of reality itself is at stake. But since you're here." He gestured, and a holographic display materialized in the center of the bridge. Unlike standard holograms, this one seemed to extend into dimensions that shouldn't exist. 300 years ago, humanity made a discovery that changed everything, Drake explained. "Our first faster-than-light experiments revealed that the universe isn't alone. There are others, pressed against ours like pages in a book. In most places, the separation is absolute. But here." He indicated their location. "Here, the boundaries are dangerously thin." Dr. Voss's cybernetic components whirred as he processed this information. "The spatial anomalies we detected there bleed through from other realities?" "If only it were that simple," Lieutenant Commander Horizon replied. "Reality bleed is manageable. What we're containing is far worse. There are entities in other dimensions. Things that don't conform to our physics, our logic, our very concept of existence. They seek entry into our reality, and their mere presence corrupts the fundamental forces that hold our universe together." The hologram shifted, showing what appeared to be a massive tear in space. Around it, reality itself seemed to bubble and distort. Strange geometries and impossible colors leaked through, and Nixus felt her mind struggle to process what she was seeing. "This is a Class 3 breach from 2 weeks ago," Drake continued. "A minor incursion compared to what we typically face. Humanity's greatest achievement isn't our technology or our expansion among the stars. It's our role as guardians, protecting not just Earth, not just our territory, but the entire galaxy from dimensional collapse." Chorus, his security training evident in his stance, studied the humans carefully. Why maintain such secrecy? The Galactic Council could provide resources, assistance. Could they? Drake's voice carried centuries of weight. Most species barely grasp four-dimensional spacetime. How do you explain threats that exist in 11 dimensions? How do you prepare someone for enemies that violate causality itself? Humanity's advantage isn't technological, it's psychological. Our myths, our literature, our imagination, they prepared us to face the incomprehensible. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout both vessels. Lieutenant Commander Horizon's armor shifted to a deep crimson. Admiral, multiple breaches detected in Sector 7. Reality cohesion dropping below 60%. Drake's expression hardened. Your unauthorized presence has disrupted the containment grid more than we anticipated. Now you'll witness firsthand why this region is restricted. He turned to his officers. Deploy the anchors. Full spectrum reality reinforcement. And get me a direct line to command, we're going to need the Infinity Division for this one. As the humans rushed to respond to the crisis, Nixis and her crew found themselves about to witness the truth behind Earth's isolation, a truth that would challenge everything they thought they knew about the nature of reality itself.
The Stellar Seeker's crew watched in awe as hundreds of Earth vessels materialized around them, emerging from what appeared to be folds in spacetime itself. These ships defied conventional design, their hulls rippling with symbols that seemed to stabilize reality around them. Reality anchors at 20% capacity and falling, Lieutenant Commander Horizon announced, her armor now pulsing with urgent patterns. The breach is expanding exponentially. Through the main viewport, Nixis and her team witnessed something that challenged their understanding of existence. Space itself began to tear, creating a wound in reality that stretched nearly 10 kilometers across. Colors that shouldn't exist bled through, and geometries that violated Euclidean mathematics twisted the very fabric of spacetime. By the eternal stars, Xena whispered, her multi-dimensional perception allowing her to see more than the others. There's something trying to come through. Admiral Drake's voice carried across all channels. Infinity Division, deploy the Möbius array. Quantum teams, establish the containment lattice. We need full-spectrum reality reinforcement before that tier widens. The Earth ships moved with precise coordination, forming complex geometric patterns that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Energy beams that bent in impossible ways connected the vessels, creating a web of stabilized spacetime around the breach. Dr. Voss's cybernetic eyes whirred as they struggled to process the data. The physics they're employing, it violates every known law of thermodynamics. They're not just containing the breach, they're rewriting local reality itself. A massive vessel emerged from hyperspace, unlike anything the alien crew had ever seen. Its shape seemed to change depending on the angle of observation, parts of it existing in dimensions beyond normal spacetime. The Einstein's paradox has arrived, Drake announced with visible relief. Now we can begin the real work. Lieutenant Commander, prepare the reality anchors. What exactly are we containing? Nixis asked, her scales shifting colors rapidly in response to the disturbing phenomena before them. Drake's expression grew grave, something that should never exist in our universe. An entity from a reality where the fundamental constants are completely different, its mere presence here causes cascade failures in local spacetime. Through the breach they caught glimpses of something vast and impossible. It moved with a logic that defied comprehension, its form shifting between states of matter that shouldn't exist. Where it touched normal space, reality itself began to unravel. Deploy the Planck barriers, Horizon ordered. The Earth ships released waves of energy that somehow made space itself more real, reinforcing the natural laws of their universe against the intrusion. Chorus, monitoring the security systems, suddenly straightened, multiple dimensional fractures forming. Whatever that thing is, it's trying to force its way through multiple points simultaneously. This is why we maintain the quarantine, Drake explained as he coordinated the defense. This sector of space has always been thin, vulnerable to intrusion. Humanity didn't choose to be its guardians, we simply discovered the threat first and adapted to face it. The Einstein's paradox unleashed a beam of concentrated reality, a weapon that didn't so much destroy as it reinforced the natural laws of their universe, forcing the intruding entity back into its own dimension. The alien crew watched in fascination as the human ships worked in concert, their technology seeming more like ritualized magic than science. Reality cohesion stabilizing, Horizon reported, breach beginning to seal, quantum signatures returning to normal parameters. But victory came with a price. Several Earth vessels showed signs of severe damage, their reality-enforcing technology strained to the breaking point. The cost of maintaining the dimensional barriers was clearly enormous. Now you understand, Drake turned to Nyxis and her crew, this is a daily occurrence for us, sometimes hourly. The entities on the other side, they never stop trying to break through. Our entire civilization has been shaped by this endless vigil. Dr. Voss stepped forward, his cybernetic components still processing what they'd witnessed. Your technology, your methods, they're beyond anything in our database. How did humanity advance so quickly? Necessity, Horizon answered, her armor gradually returning to its normal state. When we first discovered the breaches, we had decades to prepare at most. We had to evolve, to adapt our technology, our biology, even our understanding of reality itself. Every human you see here has been modified to perceive and interact with multiple dimensions. We're no longer quite the same species that first reached for the stars. As the breach finally sealed and the immediate crisis passed, Nyxis realized they had stumbled upon something far more significant than a mapping anomaly. They had discovered that humanity, often viewed as newcomers to the galactic community, had been quietly serving as the guardians of reality itself, sacrificing their own development and normal relations with other species to maintain an eternal vigil against forces that could unmake existence itself. In the aftermath of the containment operation, the Stellar Seeker's crew found themselves aboard the Einstein's paradox, surrounded by technology that challenged their understanding of physical laws. The vast command center shifted and flowed like liquid crystal, displays showing information in dimensions that shouldn't exist. Your presence here has forced our hand, Admiral Drake addressed them, his augmented features catching impossible light. The Galactic Council will have to be informed. The question is, how much can they truly comprehend? Dr. Voss interfaced directly with a permitted terminal, his cybernetic systems struggling to process the quantum calculations displayed. These equations, they suggest your ships aren't just traveling through space, they're actively negotiating with reality itself. Correct, Lieutenant Commander Horizon confirmed, her armor now in a relaxed state that merely bent light slightly. Conventional faster-than-light travel proved too dangerous in regions with thin dimensional barriers. We had to develop new methods that wouldn't risk tearing reality further. The main display showed a galaxy-wide network of quantum sensors, revealing thousands of potential breach points pulsing like angry wounds in space-time. Nyxis watched in horror as she realized the true scale of the threat humanity had been containing. These incursion attempts, she gestured to the display, her scales shifting to a deep blue of concern, they're everywhere, not just in your territory. The entities are drawn to populated areas, Drake explained. Consciousness itself attracts them. Complex thought patterns create ripples in reality that they can sense. Earth's territory contains the highest concentration of natural weak points, but as galactic civilization expands, the threats increase, Chorus finished, his security training helping him grasp the strategic implications. You're not just defending your space, you're protecting every inhabited system in the galaxy. Zenithal's multifaceted eyes tracked patterns in the quantum data that others couldn't see. These containment protocols, they're not entirely technological, are they? There's something more fundamental at work. A new figure entered the command center, their form somehow more fluid than the other humans. Perceptive, they said, their voice resonating on multiple frequencies. I am Director Phoenix Quinn of the Infinity Division. What you're detecting is the result of 3 centuries of human evolution in response to dimensional exposure. Quinn's form shifted slightly, revealing glimpses of a structure that existed in more dimensions than should be possible. Humanity's greatest advantage wasn't our technology or our military might, it was our ability to adapt, to embrace concepts that should drive minds to madness. We've modified ourselves to serve as living anchors of reality. The sigils on your ships, your armor, Dr. Voss observed, they're not just symbols, are they? They're mathematical equations made manifest, enforcing our universe's laws against external corruption. Mathematics is the foundation of reality, Quinn confirmed. We learned to write the equations that define existence itself, to hardcode them into our technology, our bodies, even our DNA. Every human in the containment divisions is a living calculator, constantly solving quantum equations to maintain the stability of space-time. Suddenly, alarms blared again, but with a different tone than during the breach. Horizon's armor flared with new patterns. Director, we're detecting unusual quantum signatures. The recent breach, it's having cascading effects across multiple sectors. The main display shifted, showing a wave of dimensional instability spreading outward from their position. Where it touched inhabited systems, reality began to thin dangerously. This is what we feared, Drake's expression hardened. Your unauthorized entry and the subsequent containment operation have created a resonance pattern. The barriers between dimensions are becoming increasingly unstable. How bad? Nyxus asked, dreading the answer.
Quinn's form flickered as they interfaced directly with the ship's quantum processors. Without immediate intervention, we'll see multiple simultaneous breaches across 12 sectors within 48 hours. Our containment resources are already stretched thin from the last incursion. Then you need help, Chorus stated firmly. Whatever the risks of sharing this information, the alternative is worse. Drake and Quinn exchanged looks that seemed to contain entire conversations in quantum states. Finally, Quinn nodded. Perhaps it's time. The galaxy must be prepared, must begin to understand what they're truly facing. But the knowledge must be managed. Controlled. Your crew, Drake turned to Nyxus, has demonstrated remarkable resilience in face of concepts that should shatter conventional understanding. We're offering you a choice: help us prepare the galaxy for the truth, or accept a memory modification and return to your lives. The alien crew shared looks of their own. They had come seeking answers about a mysterious blank spot on the galactic maps. Instead, they had discovered that humanity, often viewed as primitive newcomers to galactic society, had been silently bearing the burden of protecting existence itself. We'll help, Nyxus declared, her scales shifting to a determined gold. The galaxy deserves to know its true guardians. Quinn's form stabilized slightly. Then we begin now. The dimensional cascade is spreading, and we'll need every resource, every mind, every new perspective to face what's coming. The time of secrecy is ending. The real question is the galaxy ready for the truth about what lurks between realities? The Galactic Council chamber had never been so full. Representatives from every known species crowded the vast amphitheater, their attention fixed on the holographic display dominating the center of the room. Nyxus Vale stood beside Admiral Drake and Director Quinn, watching as the impossible truth was finally revealed to the galaxy. For 3 centuries, Drake's voice carried across the chamber, humanity has stood guard against threats beyond conventional understanding. Today, we face a crisis that forces us to break our silence. The hologram showed the spreading dimensional cascade, now affecting 23 sectors. Reality itself wavered in these regions, causing distortions visible even to unaugmented eyes. Several council members visibly recoiled as they witnessed spacetime fluctuating in ways that violated fundamental laws of physics. What we're showing you isn't a natural phenomenon, Quinn explained, their form shifting between dimensional states. These are the consequences of entities attempting to breach the barriers between realities. Entities whose mere existence corrupts the fundamental forces holding our universe together. Dr. Voss stepped forward, his cybernetic systems projecting additional data streams. We've confirmed everything. The mathematics, the physics, it's beyond our current understanding, but it's real. Humanity hasn't been hiding in isolation, they've been protecting us all. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Questions, accusations, and expressions of disbelief echoed from all sides. The High Counselor, a transcendent being of pure energy, called for order. You speak of impossible things, the High Counselor's thoughts resonated through the chamber. Yet we cannot deny the evidence before us. The question becomes, what must be done? Lieutenant Commander Horizon activated a new display, showing the network of human containment vessels struggling to maintain dimensional stability. Our resources are stretched beyond capacity. The cascade effect is accelerating. Without immediate intervention, we risk multiple catastrophic breaches. We're not asking for permission, Drake stated firmly. We're asking for cooperation. Every species here has something to contribute. The Arcturians' multidimensional perception, the Centaurians' crystalline computing, the Valerian understanding of quantum mechanics, together, we might not just contain these incursions, but strengthen the very fabric of our reality. Zena Toll, who had been analyzing the quantum data streams, suddenly straightened. Multiple breaches forming. The cascade is accelerating beyond projected models. The hologram shifted, showing dozens of reality tiers opening simultaneously across inhabited space. The chamber watched in horror as the barriers between dimensions began to fail on a massive scale. "This is what we've feared," Quinn's form fluctuated with urgency. In that moment of crisis, something remarkable happened. The transcendent High Counselor's energy form expanded, interfacing directly with Quinn's quantum-enhanced consciousness. Understanding flowed between them at the speed of thought. "We see the truth now," the High Counselor announced. "And we choose to act." Their energy form pulsed, sending out a call that resonated through the quantum fabric of space itself. Across the galaxy, ships of all species began to respond. The Arcturians offered their reality-sensing expertise. Centaurian crystal ships interfaced with human containment vessels, amplifying their reality-anchoring capabilities. Valerian quantum engineers worked alongside human scientists to strengthen dimensional barriers. The Stellar Seeker, now equipped with modified containment technology, joined the Einstein's paradox at a major breach point. Nixus watched as ships from dozens of species formed new containment patterns, their combined technologies creating stronger barriers than humanity had ever managed alone. "Reality cohesion stabilizing," Horizon reported, her armor interfacing with the multispecies network. "The cascade is being contained. It's actually working." As the immediate crisis passed, Drake turned to address the Council again. "This is only the beginning. The entities will never stop trying to break through. But now, we face them together." Quinn's form stabilized into something more comprehensible as they spoke. "For too long, humanity bore this burden alone, believing the galaxy wasn't ready for the truth. We were wrong. Unity makes us stronger. Diversity of thought, of technology, of perspective, these are our greatest weapons against the incomprehensible." The High Counselor's energy form pulsed in agreement. "Today marks a new era for galactic civilization. We established the Dimensional Integrity Coalition, combining our strengths to protect the very fabric of reality itself. As new protocols were established and joint training programs initiated, Nixus stood with her crew, watching species that had once been suspicious of each other working together against a common threat. The blank spot on the galactic map had led them to a truth far greater than they'd imagined, and to a future where humanity's lonely vigil had become a unified stand against the forces that threatened existence itself. Sometimes, Dr. Voss observed, his cybernetics now integrated with the Coalition's quantum network, the greatest discoveries come not from finding what we seek, but from understanding why something was hidden in the first place. The stars shone brighter that day, as if reality itself had been strengthened by the united will of all sentient beings to protect their shared existence. The age of secrets was over. The age of unity had begun.